I'm Shelton Wilder, and welcome to Wilder Possibilities Podcast, where each episode follows an entrepreneur's journey into the transformative power of that light bulb moment where everything clicks. I call that the click. Those pivotal points that redefine our futures, illuminate paths to success, and even change the world. Now let's get wilder. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Wilder Possibilities Podcast. I'm here with McLean McGown, and we have a lot to talk about.
We do.
Yes, and she is a motherhood coach and doula, and she does very many things.
I do.
And so I was so excited for you to be here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yes.
I know. Okay. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. I know you've been coming to my women's
I
group,
love Wilder Women.
And I love
So
that
good.
you come and
So
meet
much
all
fun.
the friends, and I love seeing everything you're doing, and
Thank you.
want to. So
Ditto.
what we
Ditto, like this merch.
Oh,
Obsessed. Yes.
no, my hilarious mugs. Okay, but I like to talk about, like, go all the way back, like where you're from.
Okay,
how
great.
you got to LA.
Oh, we're going back, girl.
Like how, and then the whole podcast is around when did you get the click. But like a lot of times people have multiple clicks.
I'm
over
a
their life.
multiple click girl.
Okay. I mean, a lot of people.
I am yes. Okay, great. I'm in a big rebirth, so it's like perfect timing.
Big rebirth. Okay,
I'm in a big
go
rebirth.
for it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, first of all, can I just say how we met?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just a real nutshell. So we met. I don't know if you. I don't even know if you had kids yet. I don't think you did.
I was pregnant.
You were. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so my oldest, Jemima, who's now 13.
Yeah.
She was a little one. That's how Paula and I were friends. I met Shelton at our friend Paula's house, New
Yes.
Moon Circle. It was such an incredible moment in Venice history and time.
Honestly, really.
This was, 12 years ago.
Yeah,
We were
'cause
doing
Beau's
New Moon
11.
circles. Yeah, right, exactly. So we would circle up in this beautiful home, and it was just such a great mix of all different types of women. Which
Oh, yeah.
I love. I love being around lots of different,
Me too.
The diversity. And we walk up because you'd have to leave your shoes out, outside, and it would be like Birkenstock clog, Birkenstock with fur, slippers, flip-flops, and then it'd be like 6-inch fuchsia heels of Shelton's, obviously. And I was like,
So crazy heels I'd be wearing when I was so pregnant.
but it was so baller. And then you're like in this cute, like short dress, and you're like your cute bump, baby bump. But I was like, who is this woman? I love her. I love her already.
I was unique. Everybody
You're
else
unique,
was just
which
kind
I
of.
really appreciate.
Thank
I love it. And you're a Southerner, which I of course love too, because I am too.
Yes.
But I always, I love, and this is what I love about you, because you you bring so much diversity of people into your life, and that's what fascinates me. And I also kind of think that's like maybe a Southern thing too.
I just want everybody to come together.
It's more interesting.
Hang around.
I know. It's more interesting that way. Like, I don't want to live in a vacuum with the same type of person.
No, of course
So,
not. So that's why I love people. But yes, that was the first time I really saw that whole women's circle, and I'd always loved it. And then maybe that's always kind of been in the back of my head when I started my women's group.
Yeah.
So, because it's so neat to bring people together and just promote each other, love each other, connect with each other.
Totally.
Well,
and I've done so many circles, and I do lead circles, and I've done
Yes, you do
every
a lot
kind
of
of
that.
circle. But I love yours for the business aspect, because I think that's also lacking in a lot of circles. And neither's, all are great, and I like doing all different kinds, but I love that kind of touchstone of getting to know women and really supporting each other in the business, and your ask of just get together.
Yeah, that's the ask.
And follow our Instagrams and all that.
Follow the Instagrams, and then I always say you have to meet a new friend and send me a selfie.
I love it.
That's
So
people are like,
cute.
that's literally it, and I'm like, that's it.
I love it.
Thanks.
It's such
I love that you come. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Okay, well, the whole thing where you were born.
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, girl.
Born and raised. My family's many generations back from Memphis. And then my dad got a job when my mom was pregnant with me. We moved to Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
And I love Nashville. We will move back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's an
I'm
amazing
ready.
place.
I've been ready for a while.
Oh, okay.
But I have to say, like, I'm loving LA more than I actually possibly ever have right now,
Whoa.
which is really interesting. So I'll come back to that.
Can't wait.
But but I love Tennessee. I'm definitely a country girl. I grew up riding horses every day. I really it's in my DNA. Like when I land in Tennessee, everyone just like, when I come back to LA, they're like, what did you do? You look so refreshed and good. I'm just like, it's just being home, you know?
Oh, yeah,
I really have that. So I was always interested in kind of alternative health. I started Iyengar yoga when I was 15. I started Pilates when I was 16 in the mid 90s, like way ahead of the curve. My mom was always really interested in things like that. So she'd introduce me. Vegetarianism. I was into raw food in like the mid to late 90s. I went to a very alternative college, and I was always following dance and movement. And in my college, I studied dance and science. So I've always been really interested in like merging the two.
Oh, really?
And
wait, what school?
Hampshire College in Amherst, Mass.
Oh, God.
It's a very alternative college.
Yeah,
We didn't have grades, but it was really fascinating because it was kind of like geniuses. Not that I'm a genius, but like that there was a lot of those that were like genius composers that, you know, probably in high school had a really hard time because they didn't fit in, but then they could go to this college and like really flourish
and thrive.
So it's like really interesting people there.
I love that.
And it was an interesting school to go to. It was beautiful out in the country. And randomly, there's no coincidences.
Yeah.
But I took a midwifery class in college. It was one of the offerings.
A what?
Midwifery class, like on being a midwife. Or
midwifery. I was like, what?
Like having a home birth.
Wow, yeah.
And so I don't know why. I was just like, this sounds interesting. I'm going to take this class. And so I think that was kind of like this nugget that was, you know, put into my universe.
Because I don't think they had that at University of Georgia. No. Go Dogs. That wasn't the offering. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a special place.
Like literally, that is.
Yeah, a lot of people, anyone listening, a lot of people know Hampshire. They're like, oh yeah, I bought my drugs from that school. I'm like, yeah, that sounds
perfect.
that tracks.
It had the best ones.
Yeah, but then my mom was living in Sag Harbor, New York at that time. Then after college, I went and worked as an assistant for a sculptor for a year.
Wow.
Then I ended up moving back to Nashville, and I was a Pilates and yoga teacher, and then always interested in nutrition. And then I moved out here to act. I thought I was going to come out here for 1 year. I moved out here in 2004.
Wow.
And I was like, I'll just go for a year and like give it a try.
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah. I'm 18, so I
goes
always
like
remember.
that. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I never thought I would marry someone here. I never thought I would have kids here. I never thought I would end up here.
Well, look at you.
Look at me.
Yeah.
And so then I was doing yoga, acting, blah, blah, blah. Realized I still love acting, but the business I wasn't good at. I wasn't good at like flirting with men. I wasn't interested. I'm a Scorpio too, so it's like I can't fake things very well, and so it's like, and there's a lot of that in the acting world.
Wait, but don't you have the same birthday as Bo? Is it the
November
8th?
2nd? I'm the 2nd.
Oh, 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So like I can't wear heels. I can't wear like makeup. I can't do a lot of the things that you kind of have to do. And so I was like, this just isn't maybe my calling.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you have to schmooze a lot, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just really not a good schmoozer. Like every boyfriend I've ever had is like, I thought you hated me. I was like, that's me flirting. Like I just, that's how I am.
This is the Scorpio girls.
It's real.
It's
real.
Really real.
Yeah. So
we're always attracted. It's like the Capricorn and Scorpio. We're always together.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
not
true.
Attracted but we're
but yeah, a resonance.
Yes, it's so
totally.
funny. I get all of them. I'm like, of course you are. Forgot. Yeah,
of course. And so then, cut to I was teaching private yoga and Pilates and nutrition and starting to coach. And then I had my first baby when I was 33, almost 34.
Yeah,
and there's so much buildup. I was with a midwife doing home birth, but at a birth center. And it just really awakened something in me. And then after she was born, it was so shocking the amount of money, time, energy, courses, classes we do pregnant. And then postpartum, there was just like crickets, just like,
yeah, here you go. Good luck.
Good luck. Like
there's no manual.
I was like, this is weird. This is weird, and I didn't have family out here.
Yeah.
I didn't really know. I mean, I knew nothing of what I know now. I didn't know to hire help. I didn't really know what to do because this wasn't talked about. So truly organically, I just started becoming a doula and a postpartum doula.
Postpartum doula.
Postpartum doula. I'm trained as a birth doula. I'm also trained as a death doula, but postpartum was really my niche because it just felt like I had to. It's just like this white space. And I saw in my own journey, if you don't really put in the time and energy and money to help women heal in that sacred time, it will bite you in the ass. Whether it's 2 years later, 3 years later, a decade later, it affect, everything. We're all connected. So your pelvic floor, your marriage, look at the divorce rates. Like we really need a lot of care in this time. And society just sadly doesn't support it. So I'm very passionate about postpartum.
Do you think it's the 40 days? Do you think it's 6 months, 1 year?
So
what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are minimum postpartum is 2 years. I really feel it's 7. Like when each of my kids turned 7, I felt literally on their birthday, like this new air within me of just like, oh, like my energetic field is more myself. I felt this like renewed energy.
You're like your own person again.
Yeah. Because, 7 years of these huge developmental kind of rites of passage.
Yeah.
I mean, if you study anything about education and
it's always
Rudolf
7.
Steiner, it's all the 7 years,
That's why if you make it past the 7 years of marriage, it's like, woo!
Right. Well, and also, but then there's 14 and then there's 21.
No, of course. But you're like,
yes,
oh God, if you get to 7 and then
we almost broke up at 7.
I mean,
we did.
It's like
and then I got pregnant with Goldie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was like, God was like, and she's coming, and
you guys got to stick this together.
And I'm so grateful. But at the 7-year thing, a girlfriend just reached out to me. She's like, "Do you think that 7-year thing is real?" I was like, "Very."
It's crazy real.
She's like, "We almost broke up at 7." She said, "We almost broke up at 14," and now she's at 20. And she's like, "I'm a little nervous about 21," but their marriage is, really great because at each phase of marriage too, we show up in a different way. I went to hear Esther Perel. Do you know her? She's really incredible. You've probably heard of her on podcasts.
I've heard of her. Yes.
She's a relationship person, and she kind of got famous. I didn't read all of this part of her work, but she got really popular at a time because there was this idea of kind of opening your marriage or like those kind of conversations that she brought to the more of like normative narrative. Mainstream. But what I loved that I took away from hearing her is she's been married for 40 years. And she said, I've had 3 marriages within this one marriage, meaning they really like showed up in 3 distinct different chapters, which I think is so cool.
I think that's so cool. We just had Rocky, who's my friend that she was on, and I always joke, and with Katie too here, we're always like, where is our celebration for us staying married?
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Where's the trophy? Because there's always like divorce parties, and I'm like, hey.
I know.
Hey,
where's the keeping it together party?
I'm like,
let's make that a thing.
I'm gonna start that. We should start that because it's like, dude. I mean, like love that guy. Love my teammate, Clark. But like, but I do think it makes you really.
Do I have something in my nose so you know?
No,
okay.
You look great.
Thanks.
A really collaborative person. You have to really.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not your way or the highway, and that like Pat Allen always said that.
Yeah. That compromise and that
compromise constantly.
Dance. Yeah. It's constant. And it's, it also depends on how, I think something was hard for me in the beginning because I also come from parents that didn't stay together. And so.
Me either.
Yeah. So it's like, we don't really know what's like normal, even though there is no normal, but we don't know like, okay, these are the things that help you stay together. Like I didn't really see that modeled. Right. And so we're all trying to figure this out. And I think that was the hardest thing actually, way more than motherhood for me was like, how do people make their marriages work? Like what's too much compromise? What's not enough? Like there's so much, this learning curve is really tricky.
And nobody knows the answer.
And no one knows the answer because everyone's different. And then also it depends on the personality of each one of you too.
Oh, my God.
I'm a real alpha and my husband's a real alpha. So like
perfect.
We're kind of like 2 lone wolves that ended up together. But it's like perfect too, because it's all a divine contract, I think.
Wow. Sounds like you guys have made it.
We've made it. We're coming up on 15 years next week.
Okay, so you passed the 14.
Passed the 14.
Good job. It
was a rough one.
Yeah, but
I feel good at 15, but I am getting a piece of jewelry because I was like, you know what?
Hell yes.
15, I'm getting.
Or even if you buy it for yourself.
Yeah, but like
you're like, he's getting me.
I mean, I picked it out.
Perfect.
And I was like, babe, just what credit card do you want out? But
A new wedding
ring.
That's so special.
It's beautiful.
I'm going to pick mine out. I'm going to go.
It's morganite. It's pink, which I love.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So I think
I love
we
that.
should celebrate. And at 10 years,
Celebrate.
we had a vow renewal at 10 years, which was really special. You did?
I mean, yeah, it's special.
It's so nice.
That's so nice you did that.
I feel like
it's
every decade.
really good to do that.
Yeah. We had our friends over. My mom flew in. The girls were there. We all dressed up. It was so sweet.
Aw,
I do think like we get to recreate who we want to be, and we get to choose how to be in a marriage and keep showing up. And I mean, I truly think the hardest thing is just when one person won't change at all. That's where it gets, I think, really dug in, you know? But I think you just got to stay fluid and like keep being open and being like, okay, like my husband, like Shelton just asked me about my husband.
I was like, what's your husband like? I've never met him. She said, unique.
He's very unique. Like I'm always like, wow, I didn't know that about you. Like I'm still learning all these new things about him.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what does he do?
He's a producer. Okay. He's an editor, film editor and director for a long time. And he worked a long time on his own, and then he was at Fox for 15 years with his own like umbrella company and under it. Now he's on his own.
Oh my God.
So he's doing a lot of horror right now.
That's
which I don't watch.
That's a lot coming out.
I know, a lot. But he just had 2 films come out in October, and they just were amazing and did so well. They're on Hulu. He did great. And Goldie actually got her. She's SAG eligible now because she had her.
She was in one?
Yeah.
Okay. What are they? What's the one?
The one that we were, and actually, and then I like shoot a mean look. Carved, which is actually really funny. I watched it. Carved, like pumpkin carving. They came out at Halloween.
Yeah.
For Halloween on Hulu.
Oh, that's right.
But Carved is really funny. It's kind of revenge of this killer pumpkin on the humans that carved the pumpkins.
Oh, wow.
So it's really campy and hilarious. Yeah. So that was fun. And there's another one, Mr. Crockett, that did really well on Hulu, which was
good.
Apparently good. It's too scary for me.
You're like, yeah. There's some scary
I can't watch scary things. Like after having children, I can't watch anything. I can't even watch Law and Order. Like nothing suspenseful, scary. I can't do it.
Oh my God. I like some of that stuff. I used to watch horror all the time. And I can't really.
I can't.
There's some scary horror. They're like too real now.
I know. It's too much.
I'm like, oh God.
But they are popular.
Yeah,
like
very popular.
They're hitting a chord with people for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Killing it. Good for him.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's been else going on with you?
So, I also think it's so interesting. I don't even know how old you are. Do you share how old you are?
I'm 45.
You're 45. Okay.
I'm almost 46. I'll be 46 day after Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Christmas baby. So I'm 47. I just turned 47. And so I am in perimenopause.
Yes. Are you talking about that?
And so I've been really passionate in talking more about that. It's more and more in the collective. But
people are finally sharing about it.
Yeah, we're finally talking about it.
Yeah. Drew Barrymore's talking about like a bunch of people.
It's out there now. Yeah. For sure.
It's not so like.
Yeah. Like, what is this? What's weird? Yeah. But what I'm seeing, because we're in LA too, where a lot of us have waited to be a little bit older and having children.
Having kids, exactly.
Perimenopause is now meeting postpartum in a way that it probably hasn't in the past, right? Because we used to have babies at like 20.
In 20s, and then you had all that time.
Yeah. So like, I'm 47. Technically, like my kids should be out of the house, biologically, just based on the past. So I've been really feeling into that. I feel like it's so interesting because I have, and Goldie, my little one, turned 7 this year. So I have this like renewed sense of self and renewed purpose. And I'm like, game on now. Like I'm stepping into my money making era. I am like, it is on.
Yeah.
And it feels so good and exciting. Because I think too, it's like we all make choices of like career, kids. We do this constant dance. How we want to show up. God. We try things. It doesn't work, all the things. And I did devote a ton of my time to my kids. And I still do, of course, as we all do. But I also am like, you're 7 and 13 now. Like I can like begin to kind of come back to myself,
Yes.
And
I'm really into that though.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
which is
my
awesome.
guys are so independent.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, and it work. Different things work for everyone, right? And that's why I love talking to every type of woman and mom, because there's no right way.
Oh no,
and
there's not. And there's some professional moms. That's what I call them.
Yeah.
And then Clark, my husband's professional dad.
Totally.
It's unbelievable. It's
and
so
that's
cool.
amazing.
So cool.
Yeah.
That I can be professional, real estate, blah blah blah, all this other stuff that I do. But like
in this incredible podcast, like all of it.
No, you're sweet. But like you just have to follow and he is so
which is amazing
into it. I mean, you're the one. You see him
all the time.
You see him at school. You don't see me there.
I know.
See him.
He's great. I love him.
But
and
I'm
David, now that he's working more at home, he can start doing some of those things, right? Because like I'm at dance every day from like pick up till evening, because my girls are dancers. And so now it's like if I have a work event, I'm calling on him more to do that, because he can. Because forever he was at the studio till like 8 p.m. Most of Jemima's childhood.
Oh wow! So this is a big shift.
It's a big shift.
Great.
So it feels really good. But so I'm really interested in like, okay, how do we have these conversations about postpartum healing, stepping into yourself, really dedicating the healing time, because I know how important it is. The first 40 days, I'm a huge proponent of it.
I'm obsessed with that first 40 days.
Obsessed.
I believe it's the fourth trimester.
Yeah, the fourth trimester.
And I didn't even I was CEO of Bo, though. I didn't work.
Right.
That's what I called myself.
Right.
On my Instagram title.
I love that.
CEO of Bo. But that's all I did was nurse like crazy and stay home, hang out, take some walks, like not leave the house really, except for a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
A couple after. But what isn't that?
Yeah.
That's like what
and I mean, the first 40 days is really making it what works for you, So the strictest kind of India in the country tradition is very strict. So then it's like, okay, what works for you? Because it's all about flexibility, right?
Yes.
So, but as an example, it would be like, no one else holds your baby. You don't leave your room. You're not ever cooking. You're not tending to the other children. You're not, sweeping. You're not taking out the trash. Like your moms literally do nothing except nurse, sleep, eat, be horizontal.
And have food brought to them, the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I
did a lot of that.
Right? And you also lived with your family. So it was just, it's baked into the tradition, in the society. And the United States of America, it's like we have to either have family, which a lot of people do in other parts, not LA so much.
Not LA as much.
So you have to hire it,
Yeah.
But like you only know to hire it when you have the education. So I'm really passionate about my coaching business and the education piece, hence my podcast, because it's not complicated stuff. It's really not. It's like keep your feet warm. Don't get cold. Don't eat a lot of raw food. Don't eat smoothies and salads. It's like soups, stews, herbal teas.
I was like
yoni
pasta.
Yeah. You got to carb up.
And
you gotta
some pizza. I mean, it was
you got to keep your milk rich.
My milk was,
And anyway, I could talk about postpartum for 2 hours.
Yeah, literally.
It's like, it really lights me up, because if you just bank it and you really take care of yourself, it will serve you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it affects everything. It affects your connection to your baby. It affects your mental health. Anxiety, postpartum anxiety and depression are through the roof in this country. And I think a lot of it is because of the pressure we put on moms, and we don't take the sacred 6 weeks. A lot of women don't even have 6 weeks, much less 3 months. Or also, what's the chaos going in the home so they can't even rest,
Yeah.
And so there's so many pieces to it. But if you can do it, which a lot of people can, they just don't know about it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where the education piece comes in.
Well, that's why I did those.
Yeah. Circles.
My friends in North Carolina, what in the hell? I'm like, I'm practicing for birth.
Totally.
I'm doing this Kundalini. Everybody's walking in the white. I was like, I can't wear the white headdress. I just can't deal with it.
Totally. Yeah, but it is. It's getting into like warrior mode,
But it was taught.
Yeah.
It's not something that's just like floating out there.
Right.
My mom wasn't like, hey, you need to do.
Yeah.
No one told me.
Yeah.
Except for I found Paula and you guys, and we were all together.
Yep. And the Kundalini stuff, I mean, I taught prenatal Kundalini for a long time.
Yeah.
And pregnant, you're walking 3 to 5 miles a day. Like with Goldie, I walked 5 miles almost every single day of my pregnancy.
Yeah.
And it's incredible what it does for your body. That's a simple thing. It doesn't have to be 5 miles. Say it's 2 to 3 miles.
Yeah.
But I mean, and again, we all have different body things and genetics and everything, but like I had no swelling. I had no tearing because like I stayed so active. My lymph was so healthy and flowing.
Yeah.
And my labor when it started was so fast.
Yeah.
And it's simple things, right? But if we're not modeled that, which most of us weren't, or we have to be taught it, or we don't know it.
Yeah. That's why the doula.
Yeah. I'm all about everyone having a doula.
I was like, I will take a doula over a crib, over having a baby room.
Exactly.
He didn't even use his room.
Exactly.
Because he slept with us for 10 months.
100%. That's like one of my biggest things I'm passionate about.
Yeah. I tell everybody, please, like doula. And then we didn't have a night nurse, but I think everybody, if you can, like get, if you want to get that afterwards, whatever care you need, extra. Even the mommy's helper to come and like whatever that is. Don't touch my baby, but just feed me
food, having the food in the fridge,
get the
delivered. Totally.
Yeah.
And because I think what's really isolating and stressful for most women is that in the day you're all alone. I mean, there's so much beauty to those first weeks and days and months, but it's also lonely, especially if your husband's off at work all day or traveling or whatever. And so it's this intense pressure. The learning curve is like this, if it's your first baby, first of all.
Yeah.
And then you're the only eyeballs on this baby. It's so much pressure. Oh my God. And so even just having someone come and help put food, rub your feet, rub your head. I love the Abhyanga, the oil massage, the yoni steaming. That's all the stuff I do. And it resets your nervous system to be bathed in warm oil while your baby's sleeping.
I never got any of that.
It's amazing.
That sounds really great.
And then you have your like khichdi after and your herbal tea. And it's just how we should be treated. In India, they actually say the first 40 days after birth determines your next 40 years of life.
Wow.
As a woman. So I say that to women so they know, like, this is important. It's not just a personal thing. It's like a family moral code to me. So whenever I'd go interview with potential clients, I would really explain to the dads, like, this is why it's important. Like, if you want to be able to have sex with your wife again, hire a doula and a postpartum doula to help your woman, because like her pelvic health moving forward, it's important.
Yeah.
If you want to be like, no one forgets the care they receive in their postpartum time. When I ask women this, they either feel supported by their partner or they feel completely betrayed by their partner. And there's very little in the middle. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's just, so they were there, it was blessed.
And so like a lot of my work was like getting the dads on board. And once I would share, dads are like, what do I like?
What's the check?
I'm writing the check right now because it makes sense. It makes sense for all of us as the family unit. And I'm all about, so anyway, circling back to like the rebirth is like, I've always been about women's work and women's health and the women's circles, and that's a part of our awakening, but you have to have the partner on board because I'm leaving at 4 p.m. to go pick up my kids, So the whole family unit has to be in support of the higher good of the mother because the mother is the leader of the family. Like it or not, that's the truth. And it's a huge leadership role forever. And we have to be ready for it. And we have to receive the support so that we actually can show up in our highest good. It's like running a business. Like if you really look at your home like a business, you're the top.
Wow.
And everything filters down from you.
Mm-hmm. CEO.
It's a big deal.
Right there.
CEO.
Yes.
You got to keep that CEO happy.
You got to, Yeah. Keep her happy.
And also, like, I think a lot of us did come from broken homes and we don't want that.
Oh, God.
And so it's like, also having that conversation, like, it's a lot of work to stay together. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you talk to couples that have been married 50, 60, 70 years, more often than not, they say neither one of us wanted out at the same time, right? Because you both go through phases.
Yeah.
And I think it's just that commitment to like keep showing up and keep learning and keep trying new things. And then both of you be supported,
Yeah.
And also the husband, the dad, the partner, they go through all that whole thing too when a baby's born. We kind of forget about that.
It's
have their own journey.
And they're like, hey, what about me?
What about me? Totally.
I used to get rubs and songs.
I know.
Now that's what we call it.
That's so cute.
Rubs and songs.
Rubs and songs.
Yeah. So I could be like, oh, your mom used to do that. Like, sorry, man.
You're like, I got 2 now.
Yeah,
it's sorry.
Like, maybe when they're off college, we'll get back to rubs and songs.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That is great. I love that.
That's, that's what we, it's all a sacrifice, but all worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do postpartum stuff with both of yours?
No, not really, but I did the doula both times.
Yeah.
Lori.
Oh, I love Lori.
Pregnant.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. She's
love Lori.
the funniest.
She's hilarious. And also, to your point about the night nurse, is you can also get a night nurse anytime. Like, I got a night nurse at 6 months.
Oh my
Because
God,
then I
that's
was
so
like,
smart.
I want some help with sleep training because my husband at that time was traveling all the time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And she was waking up all the time. I didn't know she had a lip and tongue tie at that time. So she was feeding like every 45 minutes around the clock, like forever. And so even though am at heart like a total old hippie, I started pumping to give her a bottle because the first night I pumped and gave her a bottle, she slept for 12 hours. And I was like, oh, I'll be doing that now.
Yeah.
Like, because I was losing my mind. And so another thing is like, you just got to do what works for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing ever, Lane was allergic to my milk. And I was so obsessed with nursing because I had nursed Bo. And the second one, you think it's the same. Oh my God.
No,
it was
it's
like literally
different.
poisoning him. He was allergic. And the doctor's finally like, please, and then we just gave him that fancy formula from across the seas overseas.
Oh yeah, we did some of that too.
Oh, whatever. And
Holly.
then he's so happy and sleeps, and I'm like, and gains weight.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Okay, God.
I know.
But that was my lesson. I don't know if you've ever had this talk with women about, I was such a Judge Judy about people that didn't nurse.
Yeah.
And so God was like, listen, bitch, I'm going to make it so you can't nurse.
Yeah.
And so it's like from then on out, it's like I have no judgment on anybody for anything ever.
Totally.
It was the biggest lesson, one of the biggest lessons in my entire life for anything.
Yeah.
Like, who knows why somebody's not?
I know.
Just like me. What if somebody had judged me? She's not nursing her son.
I know.
Because I'm poisoning him. Sorry, I tried. But like forever again, total annihilation, like total.
It's so true.
Want to like it was the word in it, but I needed that, the humility of that.
There's nothing
as
equalizing as motherhood.
Yeah.
It's like my girlfriends and I laugh all the time. Like, remember what we used to judge when we were before we became moms? Like, just so judgy and like it has to be this way. And and we as women, we learn so many lessons, and like either pregnancy is going to bite your ass, or birth is, or postpartum, or when they're 5 or whatever. It's like something big is always an awakening.
Yeah. Well,
for sure.
I'm glad it happened really young. And I'd never, any moms, whatever they're doing, they got the iPads out, they got the whatever. I'm like, go, yes, girl, whatever you need.
Yeah. It's true, because we never know.
Who cares?
Yeah.
None of my business anyway.
Yeah. I know. Oh, that's a hard one.
I know. I'm staying in my lane because I'm like,
I know. We got to stay in our lane because you just never know what anyone's going through.
Yes, of course.
I read a meme today on Instagram. It was like, have patience with the slow driver. You never know if they're protecting a birthday cake in the back. And it's so true. It's like we just never know what's going on.
That was so cute.
It's like we never know what's going on in someone's day.
Yeah. And that's such a visual.
I know,
because
right?
you have those fancy cakes. I'm like, that's $700 cake. Like, I am not gonna let that.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
But motherhood is the biggest journey, wild ride.
So this is what you're still.
So
helping.
I'm still. It's branched out. I mean, I do doula work occasionally for like the right client that like really gets the work I do, because I love working with a couple. I love doing the spiritual work, because from maiden to mother is such a rite of passage, and everything changes, right? And not enough attention is put on the new mom. And then also, as we know, your second kid, your third kid, your fourth kid, it's a new dynamic for the whole family, for your marriage, for everybody. And so I love that work, the deeper work. And I'll do yoni steaming. I'll do a head rub. I mean, even just I come in and I just hold space. And it's just what moms need for their nervous systems to really refill. But then I'm doing my coaching, my mentoring with clients all over the world, which I love. Because
on Zoom and
on Zoom.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great.
And I can work with the couple. A lot of times if people buy, like say, a 3-month package, 1 or 2 can be with the couple, and then it can be deeper work with the woman.
Yeah.
Because there's so much work. There's so much lineage work, the nutrition, dialing all that in, like getting really prepared in your postpartum planning, all that, helping you hire a team. And then I am branching more into my own business. I'm doing a couple of different online. I work with frequency a lot. So I work with this Healy frequency device that I've been using for 3 years, which has changed my life.
Wait, I think I've seen you post some of that.
Incredible. And then now I've got it on my neck right now. I'm working with stem cell patches.
I saw you post that. Yeah.
So I just feel like there's so much at our fingertips now of maximizing our life and our lifestyle and staying young. And like, I'm going for 112.
Oh, 112.
Yeah.
I'm at 102. Maybe I'll just bump it up to.
But I want to be healthy. I want to be healthy, hot, like loving my life, making money.
112. Let's go.
So I'm like, I just want to use all the natural things that I can.
So the
live my best
stem
life.
cell.
Stem cell. It's wild.
You like it
for people
more than like NAD and all that?
Yeah. It's a light refraction, so it actually makes you stimulate your own. So it's not even giving me stuff. It's just refracting and reflecting my own health. It's fascinating. The science behind it and the technology is insane. So I'm doing that, and then I'm helping women feel just free. Like that's whenever people are like, what do you do? It's really helping you feel free in your body, in your home, in your mothering, in your marriage, in your business, in your pivot, in your plot twist, because we're all changing. And like I told you, I got this hit last year. I was like, think I want my real estate license.
I was like, you got to get it.
Yeah. And so my dad was an architect. My granddad was an architect. Like I've always loved design.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not?
So I told you,
see.
You texted me. I was like, get it, do it. Best thing ever.
We'll see. And maybe it's not even that. And it's leading me to something else. Or maybe it's when I move back to Tennessee that I start doing it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm just like following that lead.
Love it.
And so every day, I'm just like, how free can I be today? How can I help other people feel free in their systems? Because we cannot do our work. And I do have a spiritual practice and belief in God. Like, I feel like I'm here to be a conduit of God's work in some way. And I can't do that if I'm a shell of a human. I can't do it if I feel horrible and I'm depressed and my body's hurting, you know? And so it's like, we have to be as high vibration as we can to like do what we're meant to do.
High vibes.
Yeah. High vibes.
Yeah. That's always the positron.
Yeah.
High vibes going on.
Positron.
Oh my
Possibilities
God.
podcast.
Forever. No.
Bringing it back.
I love to bring people up. Well, it sounds like you're in your
It feels good.
really
I feel
good
like
phase.
47 feels good.
little glow up, just just
Yeah. I'm going to glow up.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just put that on my vision board last night. Glow up.
I love it. I'm going to get my new ring. I'm going to show you my new ring.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? Are you feeling like you're in a new rebirth?
I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm just always doing something new. Just always
I love that about you.
busting around.
How do you keep your energy so high? Because literally every time I see you, you are so full of life.
Oh, I just think it's just, I was born with that.
Yeah.
I always tell everybody, because I was born on my due date and I'm Capricorn, and I always say that I flew out of my mom's vagina needing a drink and a job. I was out within 20 minutes. It was just like, bam! And like, they were like, what? I don't know what to do with this girl. Like, I had to have mittens
You are
on.
here. You are
I was
here
scratching my face. Like, let's go.
Yeah, you're like, let's go.
Yeah, let's
guys.
fucking go. And I've always been like, I mean, it's a lot to tame.
You are a powerhouse.
No, it's just more, thank you, but I think it's just more of, I just have, like, if there's no days off, if I had to have a day off because people are like, oh my gosh, you need to relax more, you need to do this more. And I'm like, maybe you don't know me at all. I need to be, I need to respond to those 100 texts that I get within an hour.
Yeah.
That like gives me life and energy. I love it. If I had to be, when I had days off, that was when I would be the most depressed.
Yeah.
Before I had my own businesses,
So
you know,
fascinating.
isn't that?
Yeah.
I'd be like so sad on Sundays.
Do you know your human design?
One of the girls that was, Gwen was on here.
Oh
doing
yeah, I love Gwen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she do yours?
She did it, and then she was so surprised by it.
Oh, I'm curious because I'm like, I want to do your human design.
Yeah. I don't know. She said,
Okay.
I forgot. But yeah, I just have like a lot of energy. I have to be doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's awesome.
Or I feel, I don't know, sad or
Well, you just have a lot of life to like give. Like you're here on mission.
I am. missionary.
Which is awesome.
With like my grandparents.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so I feel really good. I like to
Awesome.
highlight others too. I like to just, bring everybody up and have everybody
I know, you're
feeling-
so good about that. You really are.
Well, I mean, I feel like you are too. You're like really giving women their lives back. I mean, it's a lot of work.
I'm here to do it. And, different psychics I've talked to, they're always like, yeah, you've done this for lifetimes.
Oh, they said.
I'm going to write a book. That's something I'm going to start working on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just because it wasn't like, okay, this is going to be my career path. It was nothing like that. It was just like.
Oh, because that was like the click.
I guess I'm doing it.
Do you think that one of the click was that midwifery?
Oh, yeah. I think that was a click. But then really after I had my first daughter, because I remember one click, I was talking to my girlfriend. I was like, I'm just going to tell you like what this is because no one said it this bluntly to me. Like, this is crazy. I'm like in a diaper bleeding. And it's real weird. And no one warned me of that. And so I just kind of feel like I took on this like big sister role of just like, it's all good.
I love that.
Like it's good. It's just gnarly and insane, but like it's good, and just stay with it. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But we don't know if we don't have any idea what's coming, we all think we're failing when we're not. It's like literally what everyone goes through, right?
Yeah, those
we're not
weird
talking about it.
Diaper things they give you to take home. Yeah. And my first, I did natural births both times to prove my mom I could do it. We were in there. You'll love this.
Oh my God.
I told Lori, I was like, just remind me what my mom said. And she'd be like, remember what your mom said? I was like, fuck that bitch. I can do it. She was like, I'm not sure if you can't. I was like,
oh my gosh.
I got you.
I mean, you got to
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
And I love my mom and not F
Yeah,
her,
no, you got to use that energy.
It was great energy. I love
Birth
being
is insane.
Underestimated is like the best thing that can ever happen. It's the best drive. But
that's amazing.
But
good reframe.
But bleeding for 6 weeks, and then I finally was like, okay, I think this is a little too much. And then I had to have the DNC because some of the stuff was left in there. And it was like, oh my, I lost like liters and liters of blood. Like, you had to do a blood transfusion. But at the time, I'm always like, I had the easiest verse. And then I'll be like, hey, actually, I forgot.
Totally. We forget.
I forget.
I'm the same way. Goldie's like, the home birth was so easy, but then I did end up like hemorrhaging. And I forget that. I'm like, oh yeah, my midwife did drag me on the bath mat across the room.
Oh.
And, those things did happen. But it's just part of birth
still did it.
It was still great. But like,
I know,
it's so funny because
right.
like, I am like a chill hippie in a lot of ways, but then like internally I'm very controlling and like type A. It always confuses people. Like with my, how I judge
because you seem so chill. But then you just say you're a Scorpio and then they're like, oh, okay, got it.
That's another thing. Like at 45, I was like, actually, I'm not that chill. I thought I was chill. I'm really not that chill.
Not chill vibes, actually.
Really not that chill. I'm very feisty about the things I believe in. But even so, like birth is so hardcore for me because I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. Like I am not enjoying this. Like every time I hit transition, I'm like, I mean, with Goldie, the home birth, because I was so set on doing it, because it went kind of sideways with my first. I was like, home birth is happening. And then the whole transition, I remember I couldn't even open my eyes. I was just like, why didn't I schedule a C-section? This is bullshit. Is it too late to call Dr. Crane? Like, that was all going
Dr.
in my
Crane's
mind.
mine.
I love Dr. Crane. I love him. And so it's just interesting because even in being such a home birther.
VBAC?
No, I did vaginal with.
Okay.
Yeah, but I ended up having to transfer to the hospital with Jemima.
Okay, got it.
Because of meconium. That was a whole journey. But again, it was part of my journey because I was so like white knuckle set on it. Yeah. And that was part of my journey that like going to a hospital wasn't my worst nightmare after all, which I always thought it would be.
Oh, yeah.
But then I did have the home birth that I love. But still, it's just... I do have girlfriends that like a day after birth, they're like, oh, I can't wait to do that again. Where I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
Oh, yeah. You're like, I'll help other people.
Yeah, but I do not want to do it. Like, that is not, I'm like so glad I never have to give birth again.
Yeah. You're like, we're done here. Yeah.
I feel like it's really a lot. It's really hard. It's a death in a lot of ways. It's because you have to like meet that, you have to get to that point, the deepest surrender, which is death.
Yeah. The funniest thing this is not funny at all, but talking about like the surrender being death and then the death doula and the doula. And then we were like at our, like the Wilder women, and we're going around. And I had a friend after who was like, I've never been in the room with 2 death doulas.
You're like casual. She's like, this is super casual group here.
She's from North Carolina. She was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, she's like, okay.
I know. It's like, but
funny.
so interesting and like so needed. I mean, these are things that people don't talk about. I'm sorry, nobody talks about this in North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is like every small town, every village, like everyone had a role, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what we're kind of doing. Is like we're re-villaging ourselves. Because there'd be the person that you'd go to if someone died, right?
Yeah.
If someone is about to have the baby, you'd go to that person that would help. Like everyone had their role. And so to me, life and death are actually just 2 sides of the same coin. Like the way I show up for someone in birth or postpartum is really the same way around death too.
Wow.
You know, it's just, that veil is very close to source. And I don't think I don't do professionally death work right now. Like I'm not with hospice and all that. I think those people are angels.
I mean, real angels.
But it's really been nice that people with dying parents can call me. I have clients that have had stillbirths that
oh gosh, that's
people don't know how to handle it. And I can, it's my scorpionic whatever. It's like I can be there for them in a way that's very neutral and non-judgmental, and they can really be themselves. And it's not something like I learned. It's just a gift, you know?
It's just,
So I don't even think it's like part of my career. It's just to be able to hold space in that way. I mean, I did have a client that just had a stillbirth, and it's like it's like your worst nightmare. And so not a lot of people can sit with that, you know?
That brings tears in my eyes.
I know, it's heartbreaking. But I think it's going to be a big part of her path because she's such an incredible woman. And I think that will be part of her journey is like, to normalize. Because a lot of people have stillbirths that you would never know because they don't ever feel like they can talk about it.
My mom's.
Really?
I would have a sister. She was born, Catherine, just in 30 days. She had an enlarged heart. But isn't that, but like they had no counseling. I feel like that's why my mom and dad, you know, divorce, like no talk about it. It's like, boom, moving on, you know, and it's like
the trauma.
I actually am not the oldest. Chills. Yeah, I'm not the oldest.
Right.
Catherine's the oldest.
Well, and
actually, you know what I mean? So
totally. And so to that point, it's so fascinating because it's, first of all, when I post anything about stillbirth, I get so many DMs for people saying, this is my mom. This is my mom. That they were never allowed to hold the baby. They were never allowed to talk about the baby. They couldn't go to the baby's funeral. Like the way that women were treated, it was just like, you can't handle it, but it actually set off like a whole lifetime of trauma. And then of course that goes to your next child and your next baby and your next birth. So it's this generational thing. And then even, I mean, I'm curious, have you ever felt a connection to her? Because that siblings talk about that sometimes.
Well, so we didn't talk about her as much, so I never really felt like that. Whereas I had another friend on the podcast, and she was talking about her baby, and they talk about the baby all the time. It's very beautiful.
That's beautiful.
And so, but I do know Catherine, and you know all of that. But like, it wasn't just
it wasn't
spoken.
Part of the
it wasn't
of the family
as much. But like, if I think about it a lot, I'm like, I'm always like, oh, of course I'm the oldest, but I'm like, oh my God, actually she was. And she was a Capricorn girl.
Wow.
So it just, so exactly 2 years apart. Wow. So it just kind of interesting to really think about the.
Yeah, it's all such a mystery.
Yeah. And I love,
there's so many pieces.
Think about my mom, about that she didn't believe in therapy, counsel, you know, and so I'm like, bring it on. That's maybe why I was attracted to come to LA or you two. I don't know. We're just like, let's go get all the things. I mean, whatever.
Totally.
I mean, it's like, I'll get the cranial and I'll get the doula and I'll get the,
I know.
You know,
we're so lucky. We're so blessed. We have all this
cool?
At our fingertips. I know.
It's all here.
I know. It's all here. It's one of the things
Reiki
that I love about LA. Yeah. So really quickly, because I know we've been talking for a while, but someone shared with me recently that she's a therapist or counselor and had a client, and of course, like I knew no names or anything, or like even where this was geographically, but this client was depressed and just like always felt like there's like this missing link, this missing piece in her life. Anyway, she went off and she went to another country, did ayahuasca ceremony.
Yeah.
And met her sibling that had died stillbirth before she was born.
She felt like she
The
met.
name came. She had this whole journey up all night with this sibling, felt this connection that she had never felt in her entire life. So when she came out of ceremony, she was like, I'm good. Like, I am good. Whatever that was, I'm good.
Oh.
She came back to the States and called her mom, and the name was correct. The timeline was correct.
No.
Isn't that wild?
And the mom had never told her?
Never told her.
So she was just kind of missing that.
Yeah, she's missing her sibling. Isn't that wild? I know.
Yeah, because siblings are the best.
So we have to be talking about these things.
Yeah. It's just better just to bring it out.
The truth is always better, right? Like, we create all the dis-ease when we feel unsafe, and we feel unsafe when we don't like know what's happening and the truth, you know?
But that's in sobriety. Secrets keep you sick.
They keep you so sick.
That was my whole journey.
Yeah.
Was the feeling sick, you know?
Yep.
With secrets and we
Totally.
can't talk about this.
And that's why you like in friendships, right? In business, everything, when you're like...
In money.
When
money.
When you're like, I don't get that's not a safe way to be.
No. And that's why I'm such an open book. And if I have friends that are kind of secretive, I'm like, no, that doesn't work. Because I'm not going to be raw sashimi and tell you all my stuff, and you're just going to like everything's great over here. And I'm like...
Totally, I know.
You know what? That's sus. That's not true.
Yeah, that is sus.
That is complete sus. That's some skibbity sus.
It's true. It's like,
Yeah.
I just appreciate truth. I would always rather know than not know and have to wonder, you know?
Yeah,
Clarity is queen.
I love that. I haven't heard that. That's a good one. Well, tell everybody how they're going to find you. I love your name down here.
Thank you. Mother the Mother.
Mother
the Mother is my business. Instagram is McLean at McLean.McGown. It was Mother the Mother, and I changed it because that was part of the reason. I was like, I want to be my name. I don't want to just be, because like I meet people out in LA and they'd be like, are you Mother the Mother? And it just started feeling weird.
You're like, wait, I'm actually
McLean. But Mother is my business, and it's an umbrella for all sorts of things that we've touched on today.
Oh, yeah.
There's more, but podcast is Mother the Mother. It's out on all the places, iTunes and Spotify, and am launching some courses in 2025 and some merch. And maybe a book, but I also am always offering one-on-one sessions with people. And couples.
That's so special.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you. I love you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah. Love my Southern girls.
Yeah, girl.
Coming.
Yeah, girl.
Okay. Mwah.
Mwah. Bye. Bye.
I'm Shelton Wilder, and welcome to Wilder Possibilities Podcast, where each episode follows an entrepreneur's journey into the transformative power of that light bulb moment where everything clicks. I call that the click. Those pivotal points that redefine our futures, illuminate paths to success, and even change the world. Now let's get wilder.